Vapor face! What's up, Vape fam? So Teal here, and welcome to the Vaporworks Lab. I want to talk about the lifespan of coils in an RDA or RTA, whatever rebuildable that you're using with a mechanical mod. How often should you be changing your coils out? Well, it kind of depends. I know some people that have used round wire in an RDA they're using on a mech mod for over a year. I would never in a million years recommend that. But it does kind of give you an idea of sometimes coils can last an insanely long amount of time if you take care of them. But with any kind of complex coil, and I'm talking Claptons to Fralians, frame staple, double helix, all that kind of stuff. With those type of complex coils, using on an RDA, just a standard RDA, using with a mechanical mod, not talking series or anything like that, I would say the absolute max you ever want to go would be 6 months. That is kind of, once I hit the 6 month mark with coils in an RDA or RTA, I change them out regardless of how they look. But honestly, you should really probably be more close to the 3 or 4 month mark. Some people change their coils out every month. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you would rather just play it 100% safe, change your coils out every month, every 2 months. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Another thing going into the lifespan of coils is what metal are they made of? Are they stainless steel? Are they Kanthal? Are they Ni-80, Ni-90? Notice stainless steel coils have the shortest lifespan, it seems like, out of any coil. And then the Ni-80, for me at least, seem like they last longer than any other metal that's used. But all of that is not necessarily subjective, but there's so many little factors that could play into shortening the life of your coils. How often are you cleaning them? That's another big thing with coils. So for me, I rewick everything after about a week. So once that week mark hits, I'll go ahead and rewick them. I'll dry fire my coils on a regulator device at low wattage, heat them up till they're glowing red, let it cool down a little bit. Then I'll use a wire brush like this. Now, this is just a little soft bristle brush. Use this so I can kind of get in between the coils, maybe even underneath. And then after that, I'll heat it up again, let it cool back down, and then I'll use a soft bristle. It's just a soft bristle children's toothbrush, so I can really kind of get into the grooves of the actual coiling that's going on. So say kind of get into the grooves of the D-cord Clapton wire that is wrapped around the cores of an alien. Then after that, I'll heat it up again, let it cool back down. Then I'll run it under hot water. Some people heat them up going red hot and then just dunk them in water. And I think that comes from like blacksmithing with shaping steel. They will kind of get it red hot, mold it some, and then dunk it in water immediately. And what happens there is the metal will get harder. The hardness of the metal will go up, but so does the brittleness of that same metal. So I generally don't recommend doing that, getting them glowing red hot and then dunking them in cold water. It's not something I recommend, but a lot of people do it. So, it's really whatever you have the best experience with. But I would recommend hot water. That kind of loosens up all the excess liquid that maybe is down in your juice well. It's still trapped inside the coil itself. Then kind of dry it off as much as you can. Put it back on a regulated device, and then at low wattage, normally I'll do it even lower wattage than I would kind of pulse and pinch and dry fire. then just kind of, pulse that button, let it heat up enough to evaporate all the rest of the water that is inside the coil. That way you don't get any kind of rust down the road or anything like that. Then after that, I'll let it cool all the way down, rewick it, and Bob's your uncle. Now, if you're doing something like this, a series build, this is the same series build we did in the Vert 2 video. So there is a pair of Twisted Timmy series aliens coming out to right around 0.3, 0.29, 0.3. I think it reads 0.29 on this one, but generally most other devices, it's reading a 0.3. For these, I change these out about every month to 2 months. And essentially that's because this is getting a lot more power pumping through it. So this is at 140 watts, 6.45 volts every time I'm firing it. So with this, I change series coils out sooner because I know I'm just pumping a lot more power through them. I'm wearing them out quicker. And they're taking a lot more heat. They're heating up a lot more than just standard coils in a standard RDA like this CIO RDA from Blitz that I've got on the heavy hitter. So yeah, series coils, generally month to 2 months. Standard kind of parallel coils on just a standard RDA with a mech mod. About every 3 to 4 months. Like I said, sometimes I go all the way to 6, but usually if I'm doing something like that, they were probably Twisted Timmy's or maybe by Coil Turd or Coil Clout or Breeze Tones if I could ever get a hold of any more Breeze Tones in the US. It's been a while. But yeah, those kind of I might stretch to 6 months maybe. Coilology coils and Watofo coils, those are the only factory made coils I would really recommend to anyone. They are very tightly wound, tightly wrapped, and they can last all the way up to 6 months as well, I've noticed. But for the most part, it's 3 to 4 months when you should really be changing your coils out. If you want to do it sooner, by all means, do it sooner. It's better to be safe than sorry. Now, what does a good versus, maybe about to become bad coil look like? All right, let's take a look at, these are quad core fused Claptons. These are Watofo quad core fused Claptons in a Hell Beast on top of the topside SQ. These are still good. They still look pretty good. Actually look damn good. They're kind of a all solid gray color. They look not really gunked up at all. They don't have a whole lot of where it almost looks like they're nicked up. It does have a little bit going on right there, but for the most part, these coils look great. These are probably about 2.5 months old. So coming up here, maybe another month, I'll go ahead and change these out. But so far, they still look really good. One thing you want to keep an eye on is if your coil starts to get black and there's nothing you can do to get it, off of there, it just stays somewhat black or a really, really deep gray, you're probably getting to a point where you should change your coil out. Once they start getting black and staying black, it's time to just go ahead and change that coil out. Now, as far as coils that are bad, let's take a look at these. These are alien coils. I believe these are Coilology aliens. They've been in here for about 4 months. And as you can see, they look really dark and they're really kind of nicked up everywhere. And that's generally a sign, okay, it's time to change these coils out. These could probably last another month or so overall, but because they look so nicked up, and it's not that they're actually getting nicked up, it's just that so much of the wire has just become black in there. And what you're seeing is kind of the clean spots, but it's just not everywhere. And it's only going to get worse the longer that I use it. So these coils will probably be replaced relatively soon. So if they start to look like that, it's probably time to just go ahead and change the coils out. All right, so Is there anything else you should really take into account? Honestly, you just want to make sure you're being safe. Some people will make their coils last longer than what I'm saying. Like I said, round wire, I know people that use round wire for like over a year in a build and never change it out. Then after a year or so, they'll go ahead and put a new build in there. I would never in a million years recommend trying that, because on a mechanical mod, if you know the heating and cooling causes one of those wires in your coil to break, you're looking at, a possible short, and then that's where you get yourself in all kinds of trouble with a mechanical mod. So anywhere between a month to 3 or 4 months in that time period is when you should be changing your coils out. If they're just standard coils in a standard RDA, they're series, every month. Just change them out every month. It's better to be safe than sorry. Make sure you're cleaning your coils properly. Make sure you're taking very good care of your coils. Look at them before you re-wick them. After you clean them off, give them a good once over. Look at them, see what kind of condition they're in. Are the coils all the same kind of color, even if that's just, a light gray or a steel looking color? Is that what they look like overall? Do they have kind of those little nick looking marks to them? Are they black and nothing you can do to get that black off there? If that's the case, go ahead and change those coils out, especially if you're using them on a mechanical device, because as I said, it is always better to be safe than sorry. All right, that's it, guys. Take care of your coils, vape on, and I will catch you all in the next one.